Greetings, my scattered brothers and sisters in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that His presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. Our psalm today is Psalm number 13. Let me flip to it here. A little bit windy today. Here we go. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and every day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Look on me and answer, O Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death. My enemy will say, I have overcome him, and my foes will rejoice when I fall. But I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord, for he has been good to me. This psalm is known as a lament, and a lament is when you bring your complaint to God. You're lamenting, you're grieving, you're crying out about something. And the thing that I find so interesting about this psalm is that the psalmist is actually crying out, complaining to God about God, asking the Lord, how long are you going to forget me forever? Listen to those opening lines again. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and every day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Look on me and answer, O Lord my God. And so the psalmist isn't just frustrated with life. The psalmist is actually frustrated with the Lord. How long, O Lord, are you going to forget me? How long are you going to hide your face from me? How long do I have to keep wrestling with this sorrow in my heart and my enemies triumphing over me? Lord, when are you going to do something? Look on me. Answer me, God. What are you going to do? And it could sound like maybe the psalmist is losing faith. But I think what we're seeing is the psalmist has a deep, deep faith in God's commitment to the relationship, and that God can handle the complaint. I know that sometimes we feel like relationships are so fragile that when we're frustrated, we don't dare say anything, that the relationship just seems to be too fragile to actually speak truth, too fragile to actually speak our mind and reveal what's in our hearts. The psalmist here has a sense of the strength of his relationship with God, that God is deeply committed, that God can handle the complaint. And so the psalmist is going to reveal to God the frustration with God that the psalmist has within their heart. That's a lesson for us to learn, that God's commitment is so great, so deep, that we don't need to be worried about the relationship being so fragile that we might say something and God will be done with us. That we might say something that would maybe hurt God's feelings, say something to where God simply says, okay, I'm done with that relationship, I'm moving on. God's not a God who moves on. God is deeply committed, and God's not going to bail out on the relationship. God wants honesty in the relationship. And so there are times when we don't understand what God is doing or why God isn't acting as we think God should act or doing what we think God should do. But in those times, don't quit talking to God. Learn from the psalmist. In those times especially, cry out to God. God, how long? How long till you act? How long are you going to hide your face from me? How long do I got to deal with this? And so cry out to God rather than just thinking that God can't handle it and there's no point in crying out. And so we quit talking to God. And when we quit talking to God, it's really about the worst thing that we can do. You'll notice at the end of the psalm, the psalmist is convinced of God's faithfulness. And so the psalmist concludes after this complaining, if you will, but I trust in your unfailing love. The psalmist knows that God's love is unfailing. And so I'm trusting in your unfailing love, even though I don't understand your slowness to act. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord, for the Lord has been good to me. There's no doubt about it. The Lord has been good, and so I'm going to keep trusting. So I don't know where you find yourself scattered today. I don't know what you might be dealing with. It sounds like I got a cement truck coming up the hill. But whatever you're dealing with, wherever you're scattered, never stop talking to God and realize that God's love is unfailing. God's love is not fragile. And so God can take whatever your frustration is, even when your frustration's with God. And as you pour your heart out to God, even those how long questions, you'll remember, you'll discover, wow, God's love is unfailing, and I'm going to keep trusting in Him. So God bless. Have a great day, and keep talking to God, even if you got frustration with God in your heart. God bless.